We're live. We are live on YouTube. Okay, so let's talk about what we're going to do today. We were able to have some success in the overnight. So this gives me some psychological pressure reduction, so to speak. I've marked off some of the previous session highs and lows that we're going to use as magnets coming into the session. Ultimately, we're going to follow our own personal model, which is basically, is the market going to trend today, or is it going to range? That's it. We're going to look for opportunities on both sides of that idea, with the reminder that the orb can break at any point in the day. We're also going to keep our orb proprietary script on the screen to see if it populates correctly. It has some more data points that we're not looking at that are programmed into it that may or may not be accurate. Excuse me. So it's somewhere around here, as we can tell for the time being. Right. These are the plays. Just to review what our goals, our objectives are. Now, we want to pass all the prop firm challenges within 10 trading days or less. So let's just say that started yesterday. After we pass, the next goal is to withdraw 10K in 1 month, with the following goal being 20K in 1 week. Initially, the plan was to follow trade our Bull Knox accounts via Playbit. And I'm beginning to see that the Playbit strategies themselves may not directly align with what I've seen work for me. So uncertain as to if we're going to continue that or not. It does make me think that it may be worth looking into the meta signals, because they align more so with strategy or an indicator that I know how to use. The other thing that we thought about was eliminating, reducing, or simply copy trading the Apex accounts, considering that the rules are expanding a bit too much. I'm going to address that after the session. Reminder that we do need to journal each trade. If I can't explain it, then there's an issue there as to why we took it. Okay, so reading our session tactics. The session tactics are to review the playbook before, during, and after the session. We have our playbook written down. We have general ideas of what sorts of trades that we're looking for, with the intent of this being just a mental trigger, so to speak. These are not meant to be followed precisely, because you see them kind of materialize in different ways. For example, on this sheet, this one has one of the plays opening specifically at 5:30. And that varies. It can vary because of news, no news. It can happen at 6:30. It's just the idea that the setup looks something like this, not that we have to be so specific. So let's talk about the opening range break. We know that can happen usually after 7:30. We want to be mindful of that can occur on one asset, not the other. We have the initial balance failed auction, which is where price breaks gently outside of the initial balance and then reverts back into it. I think in that case, we should look for the opposite or extreme to be hit. We have rejections of the initial balance on either side. We have the 80% rule, which I've seen in real time but haven't seen happen too often. Then we just have liquidity sweeps. So those are our plays. We're looking for 2 trades per session. We may get more. We're open to taking more. That reminds me that I want to be, okay, so this is a good thing to remember. I just locked up the Bullnox accounts because they're up $700 per account. But I would have liked to have used those to take the opposite direction. But I'm not in a trade right now, so it doesn't necessarily need to, I don't need that as much. Our max risk per trade is roughly $300. Ideally, we want to take like 4R seems high, but at least 2R on that. We're done trading with an account. The account is $1,000. We're trading the playbook only. Our trading session is over at 8:30. Okay, so I'm just gonna make some notes here as to things I would like to do, and then we're gonna get after it. I might get some coffee. So the definite chief aim here, I think ideally is for my fam, simple man. Stop doing stupid shit. I think we're doing well there. The cool thing about this, you gotta remember, is like you have a good trading week, you have the money you need to invest in a property or whatever. So to do whatever you want, literally. I want you to keep that in mind. So we're gonna just trade aloud today. I think we should be good. I'm feeling good. I meditated this morning. I got up on time. For tomorrow, I'm going to, here, let's make some notes here. 1, presents goals, objectives on screen. Whoops. And then we need to, what else? Add free meta signals, export costs. Okay, so now we're gonna make sure that we have, this is the thing I'm just thinking about it. So we would have basically traded Apex today without knowing that like Apex is not our definite chief aim. It's not to grow our Apex account because Apex accounts are going to be problematic in the future. We knew that going into it, that they would end up being like kind of backups. breakfast was great. Thank you.
Order submitted. Order filled.
Okay, now I'm thinking. This is good because I'm having a little bit of anxiety around the size there, but that's okay. Mm, this looks okay. So look at this. Looks like it wants to break to the upside. What I'm going to do is, and it's above VWAP.
Order filled. Order filled.
I'm going to take one. We just have a channel. We have a channel happening here.
Sorry, I was talking to myself. I didn't realize I wasn't muted by that time.
Very good. All right, let me stream the screen real quick. Let's do a quick update for everyone here. We have a few things to talk about. I'm sure you guys see me absolutely going crazy about crypto. I would like to go over a little bit of what we gotta share. Because we did it again. The bottom again, the literal bottom. We literally shorted into the bottom and then bought it back. First thing I gotta do is actually catch up with NASDAQ and figure out what happened overnight. I know we had a
My
little bit
initial,
of a move.
huh?
No breaks underneath the M15. First thing that we have to mark are previous day lows. I think is the first obvious draw. That's the previous day low. Definitely our first draw. Weekly highs already been tapped. Need to figure out where our session liquidity is or TBL. And then we will look for SMT between the pairs. And this is our weekly low here. Oh, that's our weekly low. This previous day low is a pivot point. Now we'll go over crypto in a second. I want to first update my chart for NQ. See if I'm missing anything. Okay, so London highs. Oh my god, it was Asia session that took everything out. Look at that. Asia having a insane run lately.
So
This is not normal for Asia session.
I just made a mistake here. It's interesting
Tokyo
because
took
I
a
saw it
weekly
in real
high and
time.
then subsequently lost the entire move.
Fear. Right here.
Double stacked lows. Asia and London.
I marked off this trend line and initially said to myself,
TBL. And then London
just
highs
hold it
above
because it's
us
going to reverse.
with
Then I
3
said
minutes
no.
till open.
That's fine. Good. Good to see that we know. So we made that mistake here. We're going to just absolve ourselves of that mistake and move
Yeah, I
on.
think we're missing practically
It's a
zero
$15
bells.
mistake, which is great.
I know all that's left is maybe a 10 to 20% of an unmitigated fair value gap.
Okay, so going back to
after
it,
PDL.
I think that like we could draw liquidity here,
Primarily, I think that's it. Yeah.
but I think
H4,
we're wrong
H1, M15.
up here. So I'm going to be short.
H4
I'm also looking
BPR.
at this, yeah, the range, the range low
See,
at 21,470. If we get below previous day low.
Cool. All right. So it's kind of obvious what we're looking at for draws. I posted about this last night too. So we talked about as soon as Asia manipulated its high. This is what we said. Here's the screen now. Said the weekly high objective was hit. There's literally only one target left to the upside. This was posted last night, 6:35 p.m. PST or 9 p.m. EST. Only target to the upside left is the daily fair value gap. Otherwise, every single draw is lower. Like literally every draw, and then boom, as you can see, market's already given back the entire move. To be fair, unexpected for it to be this fast. I did hope for maybe a 60 to 100 point move to the upside, and then a move down because I've been waiting for this gap up here to be tested for God knows how long I've been waiting for this up here. But nonetheless, the pullback is now. We are refusing to close underneath the M15 EMA, like heavily refusing. Price does not want to drop below it at all, and if it does drop below it, the buyers are coming back instantly to bring it back up. So, of course, draws are lower. If we can accept underneath the M15, I'm going to assume we're just going to melt for practically the rest of the session. So that's what we're going to wait for, is London high sweep, Asia high sweep, one of these, or just go long into Asia high. I don't know what this session's going to give us yet. 1 minute till open here, but one of them is eventually going to open. Before I go into quick update on crypto. Yeah, we did it again. They didn't think we could do it again. They didn't think we could call the bottom exactly once more. CRV, Maker, literally everything. If you were here yesterday in the stream, every single asset I told you to buy, every single asset, even Fartcoin, Hype, new all-time high, $40 Hype, $40. ETH, of course we know, range hasn't been taken. Bitcoin Cash, huge. Sui, huge. AVAX, huge. literally everything. Not a single asset I've bought. Actually, I think one is lackluster. I think Soul's the slowest one so far. So funny enough, Soul, generally an outperformer, is fairly slow here. I do think it breaks out, so you still have an opportunity with that one. In Bitcoin dominance, as suspected, falling off the highs, which if you remember what I said, like this is key for us to have an altcoin run, which, hey, we're having right now. Congratulations, look at it go. So yeah, this one was huge. I mean, this is, I don't know. This is like another, like Maker is another like near 16R trade for me. This one's insane. And I'm gonna still hold this. So transparency be spoken. I believe Maker continues very far. Yeah, the next TP on. Yeah, the next TP on Maker is gonna be what, 26? Let me find it. Let's just swing highs here. 24.31. Could you still get in? Sure. Yeah, I mean, you could definitely try to still get in.
Okay, so
You couldn't get in before.
I'm going to take a coffee break.
Yeah, ask yourselves, why didn't you get in? Some of them have already completely left the station. Like, you have to buy it when I buy it. It's literally, if you want to mimic my returns, you need to buy when I buy it. Otherwise, I don't know why. To be fair, this is a free stream today, so the person asking that question maybe is not a member. Oh, you weren't there. Yeah. Oh, you're not a member. That's why. Yeah. So if you're sidelined right now and you didn't get any of these moves, just know there's 1,000+ other people that did because they pay a small fee to get all of these signals directly in their inbox. Now I could easily just ask, hey guys, how many of you were able to absolutely bank? I'm not even going to do that today. We've called every single bottom and every single top. Every single one. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. I'm not exaggerating at all. Every single cycle for the last year, 12 months has been called. Like, this is a live stream. There's 400+ people talking. If I'm lying, I'm going to have 400 people call me out right now for lying. Not a single person will do it because they've been here the whole time to watch it. So prices are going up again soon. I can guarantee you that. Every time I do this, I have a fucking I'm literally a perfect track record for the past year. On the fucking dot with crypto. Perfect sells at the highs, perfect buys at the bottom. And some people may say, oh, you gotta be more humble. Fuck that. I'm producing so much fucking wealth right now. This is definitely my best 1.5 year span I've had in crypto. So I'm fucking going insane right now. Like, I'm going to be wrong eventually, but right now I'm so fucking right. I'm so dialed in with the market. I have to just keep extracting money, keep extracting value, keep extracting value. So if you're a crypto trader, I encourage you to listen to the things I have to say about crypto, because so far it's the playbook. It's the playbook.
Rick pulled another almost 150k on the ETH play.
Rick's up another, yeah, look, Rick's almost up 200 grand again. I don't know how much money Rick's made off of my positions in the last year, but I'm assuming it's near $1 million now. Oh yeah, he made $1 million. Yeah, so he's already hit his $1 million in profit. Yeah, it's insane. Incredible. Incredible. I mean, it's cool to see what you can do from a little bit of leverage and good positioning.
In time for the guys who said, I wasn't there, man, I wasn't there, then stay to the end of the stream and we might have something to get you in for your first month on a little bit of a discount.
Rick is one of our members. He literally slams anything I buy. I generally just go and chat and I see he's just fucking slammed it with a lot of money and then proceeds to make a lot of money. It's impressive. But yes, we'll move a lot of our efforts into NASDAQ right now. I know a lot of you maybe actually don't even trade crypto, which fair enough. But make money 1,000 different ways is what I say. If it's slow in NASDAQ and you're having a difficult time in NASDAQ, just know that there's a market that's giving the exact opportunities you want, and it may just take you a bit of transitioning to get into that market. Yeah, as long as the bank, exactly, as long as the bank account goes up, who cares?
So this is the importance of maintaining your bias, right? Like I saw this earlier this morning.
And if some of you didn't know, also there's if you've been looking to get into crypto and you're like, there are crypto prop firms. One in particular we partnered with, which is Breakout. So if you want to know more about Breakout, you can literally go trade. Like it's literally top step but for crypto.
You can see this right here, basically.
Okay, lock in. It's time for NQ. 90% of my profit this month is coming from crypto. Let's move that needle bit back. Let's produce some of that profit from NQ, why don't we?
So this is interesting because
The same model we use in crypto
Different.
is the exact same model I use in traditional markets. I use ILM in crypto. I use ILM in Nasdaq. It quite literally does not change at all. Crypto is no different than NQ and ES. Actually, there's one difference. You can't really use orb in cryptocurrencies, so ILM is all you would be able to use.
Okay. So ES is behaving a little bit different, which is
What, the
fine.
link's not working? Or Breakout? Let me check. Oh, is Breakout down right now? That'd be so funny if it just like randomly. Well, anyways, don't worry about getting a Breakout. Oh, is it just my link? These fuckers. Is it just my fucking link they gave me that doesn't work? Alright, don't go buy a Breakout. Yeah, don't go buy Breakout till my link's working. Because it gives you, I've been talking to Trader Man, the CEO. I'm gonna get you guys a good discount. Well, there was a discount on it. Now it doesn't fucking work. So, hold on. Hold the fuck on. Don't go use it yet. Well, you can't use it. Don't go buy it without my link. Wait for my link and then you'll get money off. To be fair, crypto prop firms are a bit more expensive than futures. I will say that.
Okay.
Yeah, you can go buy without my link if you want. You'll just literally pay full price. I'm trying to help you. You guys said there's SMT on ES and NQ. I don't see it. Did ES take a low that I'm not aware of?
ES took previous day low already.
Let's look at its previous day low. Let's check.
Yeah.
Oh, right here. It
Intriguing,
did.
huh? Yep.
Okay, so we do have a PDL. Oh wow, it just barely sweeped it. And PDL and NQ is definitely intact. Alright, first TBL for the day just got hit. That's London High.
Different? Okay. Well, that's over with.
Do we have red folder today or anything?
No.
No.
We have CPI tomorrow.
Okay, so the big day is tomorrow.
Yeah. Someone said Trump
Bill.
speaks today. I don't know when.
He does, yeah, that's correct.
What time?
But he doesn't speak until like I think right when market closes.
Oh, that's now. Who gives a shit about that?
Yeah, so it's happening, but yeah.
Is this a sweep? All right, let's see. If it is a sweep, it's all good.
Yeah, maybe he just sends a tweet today instead of talk. I don't know. Nonetheless, we're just going to be waiting here for a bit. Jesus, my phone will not turn on. One thing to keep in mind today, the buyers of NQ are fucking savages. They don't like to sell this asset, and then when they do, they just buy it back instantly.
It's been insane lately how strong every little pullback just gets bought up.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I
argue
really
that this is a
cannot
sweep.
It is
Order
absolutely
filled.
incredible how mad these freaking buyers are. They just don't care. Considering the overhead tailwinds we have for indexes, you'd assume that they would at least decrease strength coming into 16 days of consolidation, but that is not how it works.
Come back, this is my last trade until the market establishes itself for the day.
We are forming a nice little old school rising wedge.
Oh no.
So much 4-hour lows to liquidity, still on an uptrend. The problem is, Marcin, we never know when that uptrend is going to stop. Yes, we got a ton of lows, but we'll see when it happens.
Yeah, and to be fair, the trend has had multiple times to stop, and it ain't stopping. So we just have to assume it's just not going to stop until it does, and then the time it does, it probably won't because we get bought back up again. So it's difficult to be, very difficult to be a short trader right now, and you can see from the amount of times I've attempted to short that they're either losses or break even. Even like yesterday should have been a massive win, and just got bought back up. I mean, it's so sad. Don't short it. It is not going to be in your favor. The only time you really can short is if you do get priced to accept underneath the M15. And it's done it a few times and offered some amazing returns, but it's not often. I think it maybe sits there for like 48 hours max, and maybe if it's 2 days max to get involved. Otherwise, you're going long. M1
Little
ILM.
Off of that London sweep.
Oh, it is? Oh, it's so nice. Do I fade? Do I fade my M15 bias once again? It is proved to be...
We got 1 more minute till the orb forms, so we can also wait to see if the orb gives extra confluence.
Holy shit, my phone will not... Hold on, I gotta go get a fucking charger. This phone is not turning on with a charger. 1 second.
So here's your orb range right here. How large is this? Got a 68 point range, so top 35 points for your stops. 50%.
Alright.
Previous day low is about 2.5 R from if we get an orb to the downside.
Okay, I'm back.
Gold's finally over its 15-minute 200 EMA. This should make it move.
There we go. It's open now. Do you guys see any conflicting information? Yeah, the fact that the bias for the M15 has been holding price for a very long time, and that I may have to short into it. That's the conflicting information. Gold, not bad. Plus $1,000 on gold today. Still slow. I don't know what these contracts are at. Still won't load. Nice. 20%.
Order filled. Order filled. Order filled.
Yeah, probably another. I mean, again, I don't want to say that June 18th is going to be when I start the full risk again, but it's definitely an awkward spot for me to want to increase risk. It's like
This chop, it's so fucking boring.
it's like if we did so good the last 2 months that I really am risk adverse to wanting to go full risk in an environment where I know my tolerance for risk should be lower. Like it's one of the most, it's exactly what I hope all of you get to one day, where it's like the discretion to decrease risk in environments where you know objectively you're not going to be as profitable as you were before. And I know that for a fact right now. Until June 18th and there's trend, I know that I should be half risk because what's the point of me giving any profits back to the market? Like I'm not going to give my profits to some fucking institutional firm just rinsing everyone before FOMC. Yeah, and day before CPI, red folder.
Okay, orb
This
is
is
printed.
where most traders get absolutely destroyed. Most traders lose their ass here. This is where a lot of people actually quit too. Where you have so much information at your disposal to not do something and you still do it. I mean, first off, you're just weak-minded if you know that for a fact. You know before red folder, you know before FOMC, you know with the data given the past few weeks that you don't exactly have the highest opportunity to make profits, so why the fuck would you full risk? Also, why would you non-take A+ setups? There's no reason you should do it. And if you know that information and you still end up doing it, you have a problem. You'll never be profitable. So for those demanding profitability and wanting it and who have the confidence to make it there and think they have the drive, well, if you don't have the discipline, you'll never make it there at all. You said weak-minded. I did. Yeah, you're 100% weak-minded. If you know you shouldn't do something and you still do it, you have a weak mind. You literally have problems that you have to fix. And unfortunately, trading is going to expose them. It's going to force you to be vulnerable to the idea that you do have things you need to work on as an individual.
More.
It's true. Self-control is one of the biggest things in trading. As much as people want to think that trading isn't this like psychop game where you just press buttons and follow a mechanical model, it's not. If you just put into a trading robot, sure, because then there's no human interaction. But if you're a human interacting with a market, there's emotions embedded. If you don't have self-control at your disposal, you will ruin yourself. I mean, you guys have seen it. You know, this shouldn't be something that's new to you to hear. This is the obvious reality of trading. Yeah, humble you very fast. Yep, trading's journey of self-mastery, nothing else took me years. Yep, 100%. Half risk, Rakibul. very real, Martin. Okay, no positions right now. Gold, well, for I told you guys a few days ago, actually sorry, not a few days ago, yesterday, that I was rebuying more gold positions because I could pretty much see that this is the only place where if gold was to have a bounce, it has to bounce here. So we're having it. Gold's doing the move. We rebought more gold options yesterday. And we're going to hold these. So that's the update for gold. Juan Alejandro Bustamante. First time here, and just by listening to the stream, I definitely want to join. I appreciate that. And again, come on Sundays. It's also free for you to get an outlook of what I expect to happen during the week. Tuesdays, of course, and then all of my YouTube videos are free. Even if you can't afford to be in the private side, that's fine. I still try to give you as much value as I can to help you, at least at a minimum, believe that you can do this long term. And one way we do that consistently is by having a transparent Audible sheet. Like I'll send this to you right now. This is something most mentors and coaches don't do. You can see my progress from the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. What is this? 10 months. I have 10 months of all of my trades that you can see. Every single, like, fully vulnerable. I wish more teachers did this, because you could actually get an idea of who you'd want to listen to. You don't want to pay a personal coach to teach you in the gym if they don't look the way that you want to look, right? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. You want to pay someone who's going to help you achieve something that they've achieved. If someone hasn't achieved something you want, why would you ever listen to them? Okay, so far for today, we've had a singular time-based liquidity sweep, which is minute 1. Then we had a minute 1 ILM. Did not take this trade. It is completely against the bias for the day, and I have gotten burned too many times attempting to trade against this bias. Too many times this bias has burned me, so I'm going to literally just listen to the data, surrender to what the data says, and just listen to it. Yeah, that's why we didn't take the ILM. Again, going short isn't exactly profitable at the moment, so I just won't do it for now. As much as I want to.
1 minute until this orb break, too.
So for those that are new, there's 2 models we trade. One's called ILM, one's called Orb. Orb is a conditional set of rules where you mark out the first 15-minute candle of market open. You mark the high and the low of it. If a 5-minute candle closes outside the range, we assume a continuation is probable, and we take a trade based off of that. Right now, we have about 1 minute until potentially a close. The last 5-minute candle looks like it probably won't close right now, at a minimum. Yeah, 50 seconds left to close outside the range. We'll look to take longs in Asia high. Mig said, free member here waiting for my first payout ever. That's impressive. Congrats on your first payout.
Millie has the data for EMA bias on each specific day versus EMA bias against EMA bias. On Tuesdays, we are 64% wins with EMA bias, 33% without EMA bias. Only
That's huge
3.9 R collected going against EMA bias over the last 10 months.
Wow.
Fucking
Okay,
huge,
Millie, thank you. That's actually really important data right there. That's the type of data you don't get. See, look, this is incredible. This is the type of data you don't see from anyone else in the space. It's like TradeZella ain't going to give you this information. This is our best day for the bias.
TradeZella just looks fancy. Nice and fancy dashboard.
Yeah, that's it. All TradeZella does is you got to pay $50 a month. And you get a fancy looking dashboard that doesn't do shite.
It's better than no journaling, but it's not as good as the spreadsheet.
Absolutely, in the spreadsheet. We've been able to curate an edge from the spreadsheet alone several times, which has been amazing. Do I do this Excel by myself? No, this Excel sheet is a collective effort from two different members primarily, Remus and Millie. They've both helped to adjust it and modify it. I think Remus has a journal 2.0 I gotta talk to him about here soon. As you can see, this is kind of the beta. It looks insane. A lot of this I have to fill in. But the reason we journal is also to understand how well we're doing and where we need to stop doing certain things. Did we get orb break? No orb break yet. We still have...
It failed.
Yeah, we still have no orb closures at all. We have a failed ILM from the morning with London High that we skipped. So, not a bad outcome there. We may have
A lot of times for me personally... Go ahead, sorry.
I was going to say, we may have a double. So, London High is pretty small, but we have two different 15-minute candles with 3 minutes left to confirm a double sweep, which, you know, it is a downside looker. And if we get a downside move, it would be an orb short because we have to confirm that we're underneath the M15. Go for it now, Hunter.
A lot of with a lot of times too is like when you're inside the orb range, it just tells you when not to trade it. It prevents you from getting chopped up trying to long short, this ILM versus this ILM. You just wait to get out of the range to tell you that you're getting somewhat of an expansive day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's helpful. So you don't trade within the orb generally. If you do get a trade within the orb, it would be an ILM, which you would then obviously take outside of the orb, which would then trigger 2 entries. So a reversal and then an orb continuation of said reversal, which happens sometimes. It's not as often, but we love those trades because you can generally add more into it. Have I seen the hour 1 ILM? Yes. I just marked it out. I see it. There's a few of them up here actually. Also, for my crypto guys, a very fast update. Every position can be moved to entry now, so you have quite literally 0 risk, which is awesome to see. 0 risk positioning, free positions. Free, don't you guys love free things? You have free crypto positions right now. Someone said, can you explain your sentiment and why you have it regarding Ally? Yeah. So this is a long-term stock I added in replacement of traditional banks and traditional finance that I had before. I had banks like Bank of America, American Express, and JP Morgan, and I ended up replacing them with some more modern assets. One was Toast, T-O-S-T. I've had this one for some time now. Yeah, it's doing pretty good right now, kind of at yearly highs. But Ally, I assume you bring up because I just actually talked about this being one of the next breakout stocks. What that means is I believe that Ally, kind of in the short term here, like in this week or next week, this should occur. We should have a massive breakout as we take our first piece of buy-side liquidity, and eventually I'm expecting about a 20% move from this stock. This also has been sitting and respecting its weekly EMA for quite some time without accepting below it, which gives me the idea that buyers are ready because they've already taken sell-side liquidity once. They're ready to bring it to buy-side. So it's going to be a rate of lows. This is your typical accumulation, manipulation here, and then we're going to have our expansive phase. So this is an AMD process. A, accumulation right here, which we'll annotate by a blue box. Red is our manipulation. They manipulated this sell side liquidity. And then green is our inevitable expansion to take said manipulated liquidity and bring it back to the highs. So that's the thesis on Ally, and I assume it happens sometime soon. I don't know, maybe this week, next week, should be soon. It shouldn't be a few months. Paladin said, you posted crypto futures or spot? Both, technically. Futures and spot has no difference. This is a common misconception. $1,000 on futures 10x is the exact same value as $10,000 on spot. Doesn't matter. Futures, you just have to pay a small fee in order to use their margin. But nonetheless, you can use futures, you can use spot. Does not matter to me.
What he's referring to from his recent message is about the actual position. He's asking if there was a stop loss and take profit, like a signal, but it wasn't necessarily like that.
For every single position on crypto, you guys remember what I said? Every position has a stop loss. I told you what every single position stop loss was. A reacceptance. Again, crypto's no different than NASDAQ. I think some people overthink this. I don't trade crypto any different than the way I trade NASDAQ. Crypto's just traded, excuse me, on the 1 hour, 4 hour, and daily time frame, which means if I'm using the ILM on those time frames, I'm using the same stop loss I would with NASDAQ. Which also means CRV, Maker, every single one of these positions has a stop loss, as I annotated several times. If it reaccepts underneath the same levels that it inverted, then you sell it for a loss. We talked about this on Wednesday, we talked about it on Sunday. Like the ILMs for ETH, if it reaccepted underneath 2456, sell it for a loss. Maker, same exact idealism. Maker, if it sells underneath, what was this one? 1721, sell it for a loss. Like it's, again, please don't overthink crypto versus NASDAQ. They're the exact same thing. All assets can be traded with ILM. Not all of them can be traded with Orb though. That's why we don't use Orb. So yes, they all had stop losses. They're all extremely annotated. It's the exact same as NASDAQ. If you trade NASDAQ with me every day, you know how to trade crypto futures with me every day as well. Can we get an intro to crypto class? Sure, yeah, we'll do an intro to crypto class soon. Again, it's really don't want people to overthink this. Crypto is just 24/7 market. That's it. That's kind of where the differences end with crypto and traditional markets. It's just a different asset to trade. It trades all day. You can use margin on it. You can trade options on it. It reacts the same models we have. There's not much of a difference, and I don't want people to think that learning crypto is a whole new realm for them. It's the same shit. Are you guys long in Bitcoin longs? No, we are not long on Bitcoin longs. We have alts. We have literally everything that we have everything that's better than Bitcoin right now, which is where you want to be. Because if you look at dominance, you can see that they just had a massive melt. So dominance has already melted, meaning it was correct to not take longs on Bitcoin and actually long alts instead.
It's also worth mentioning, Ty, with crypto, people who are trading Bitcoin, you know, to do a 2x on Bitcoin, it's going to need to double in price, which is not going to happen anytime soon. But with some of these ultra low market cap, you know, you could probably get a 50 to 100% return on investment in a mini bull run. It depends on the starting capital, right? There's not really much point in investing $1,000 into Bitcoin because you get a 5% move. Like, it's not really worth it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely a difference now compared to, you know, 4 or 5 years ago when we were trading underneath the trillion market cap. There's a little bit of a better opportunity, and I can speak about this extensively when we have an intro to crypto stream about the opportunity cost in crypto nowadays and the amount that it takes to move the needle now. Maybe just has 60% pump. There you go. I mean, that's quite literally a helpful indicator of market cap discrepancy. You can make more money faster on alts. Faster on alts. There's a lot more risk involved. However, if you know anything about my long-term story and how I've been trading for the last 8 years now. I can't believe I can say that now. 8 years. God, it sounds like such a long time. A lot of the money I've pulled and extracted from the markets has been from crypto. So, if you're wondering if crypto is profitable, all I can say is the largest amounts of money I've extracted from the markets has been from cryptocurrency. I mean, for fuck's sake, my name is Bitcoin Playboy. I literally anchored my name to crypto pretty soon in my trading career.
I can vouch for that Ty, as well. I made way more money in crypto than any other asset in
Yep.
trading investing as well.
Here, I'm gonna send you over this Bluefin code right here. You can use that if you want to sign up for crypto futures, which is what we use. Just use that code there, Bluefin. You will get like 50% discount on all trading fees, and adds up very, very fast.
I already got it.
Quick update on Nasdaq. We are still. It is 30 minutes, half an hour into market open. London high has been taken. Continually sweeping against it. Looks like no 15-minute candles closing above, and we're in the middle of the orb range. What did we expect? I mean, this happened yesterday, the day before. It is low value market conditions. Guys, I wish it wasn't. I wish I could come in here and be like, this is incredible market conditions, but I'm proving to you exactly what you need to do during periods where it just does shit like this, where it just sits back and forth like this. There's not much you can do, unfortunately. I wish there was. I wish I could give you the 100% win rate in shitty market conditions model. If it existed, you guys would be using it right now, but it doesn't. So what I do, and I know some people don't exactly appreciate slow market conditions because they're like, I want to make money now. I want to make money now. If I can't, I hate it and I'm upset. But the reality is if you can trade during these conditions, or at least maintain a level head and protect profits that you made the months before, this is how you stay profitable. I always say it, it's very easy to make money trading, but it's extremely difficult to keep it. This is you actively keeping it the most difficult part of your trading career right now. I love watching paint dry. K-Max says, did you say that US peeps need? Yeah, so if you guys decide to use Bluefin, you will need a VPN that's denominated in, or that's attached to Mexico, or Brazil, or Cuba, or, I don't know, Switzerland. What is your average ROI on crypto per month percentage? Great question. For the last 12 months, for the last 6 months, it's definitely a little exaggerated. I'd say that I'm probably averaging around 30 to 40% a month on crypto, because the portfolio's done roughly a 3x in the last 12 months. So I think I'll average out about 40%, 50, 50, 50, 52. Yeah, so about, 35. I'd say let's call it 35. I think that math averages out. But since Trump, my account's done roughly 3.25x. That was it. I mean, since Trump's been the start of the bull run. If you look back, you can actually see it in our journal a little bit. If you look back before November, where is it? Right here. We were just doing like, I wasn't even touching Bitcoin at all. August, September, October are typically actually the months during the year I don't trade crypto. If you guys want some quick historical advice, and all of my OG Playbit members know this, that crypto tends to underperform heavily in August. August, September, and October. So if we just go to, I don't know, we'll go over here. Just find it somewhere. February, March, June. Here's August. So look, here's August. Look, price raises 61% into August, and then you have a new dump. Mid-September, 23%. And then I think this is October to November, and then November, your massive dump. Let's go to August again. Right here. So it happens every year. Like I literally can't make this up. Here's the start of August. Look, moving into August, you get a big move on Bitcoin, and then August all the way till November, you have a massive depreciation. Let's do it again. This is just fun data for you guys to kind of just like keep it. Look at this again. July, June, huge month. August starts, the massive dump, 20%. I can't make this up. This happens every year. This is like only something you'll get from a coach who's been trading a long time. Here it is again. August, September. Here's July ends, minus 30%, and then August, September,
We're so
October.
bad for equity markets too.
Yeah, it's just we've been trading so long. We just know that August, September, October, we generally offset crypto heavily, and we just stop because it's not good.
October is
It's
the
goes
the
down.
recovery month.
Yeah, end of October, Halloween,
Nasdaq.
going to Thanksgiving are good months for you to get back in the markets.
Chop August, pullback August, then big heavy pullback early September, October the recovery, end of year rally happens every
Yeah.
fucking year.
We like to
Every
call
year.
it the June, July accumulation, August, September manipulation, and then the re-expansion into the end of the year. So last quarter 4 of the year. Someone says, LA protesting going to affect the markets. What if Marines get deployed? Is the market cooked? Or California Mayor Jen arrest? They're talking on X. My personal opinion is I think it won't affect the markets at all. I don't think the markets give a fuck about the LA protests right now. I think people are exaggerating it, like calling it like fucking like civil war and shit right now. I don't know. I don't see it like that, to be fair. It just feels like BLM riots in 2020. I don't know if anyone feels the same, but they're going to deploy the military probably. I know they're arguing about unrest. I don't know. Yeah, it's California, man. Like, if this shit was happening in like New York, maybe I'd feel different, but it just feels like BLM all over again. And I'm not here to get political, but that shit had no effect. I actually, I mean, we go into like generalized local politics. It had a pretty negative effect on the local economy. So I don't know what they're attempting to do over there.
Big orb on the Russell today so far.
To the upside.
Yeah. RTY. That's the market that's moving.
Someone said, what are they even arguing about? I think in California, they're arguing about ICE protests, arresting illegal immigrants and deporting them. So what they're doing is they're protesting in the United States about not wanting to leave the United States and hating the United States. So they're arguing about hating the U.S. but not wanting to leave the U.S. and then burning U.S. flags. I don't get it.
What the fuck?
And then robbing Foot Lockers. So in the midst of the riots, they have a diluted idea of what they're even fighting for, but there is one subset of people who then allow themselves to take great advantage of this and get a whole bunch of new Air Forces, Nike Dunks. I think they rob Best Buys too. It's pretty sick. They get free laptops. So someone's winning, and it's definitely not the rioters. It's definitely the guys that are covert. They're just hitting fucking Walmarts. So if you want to go get a free laptop, you could easily go to Los Angeles County right now in the midst of the riots and probably not go to jail. That's not financial advice. That's life advice. That's the advice you need. JC Baby said, even when the market conditions are shitty like this, would you still recommend increasing R by double or triple to pass the eval? Good question.
Not as much.
Yeah, I think that, again, if you can realize, and to be fair, it took me, I don't know, it took me about, well, I guess we knew middle of May. Yeah, we knew middle of May the conditions were off. That's why we were able to end May with such a good risk to reward, is because we started the half risk. So we kept the half risk running into June too. So I'd say, yeah, I would reduce it, but I would still risk more than what you would in a funded, to be fair. Because you can't be, to be fair, you can't exactly be scared to blow the accounts. And I talked about this yesterday, and people were asking about it. Like, don't be scared to blow your prop firms. Like, please blow your prop firms. And like, look, I'm not biased. I don't own a prop firm, so I don't make money if you blow them at all. I also don't have fucking referral codes for Top Step, so I don't make money if you blow accounts. This is completely like true advice. Don't be afraid to blow your prop firm accounts. It's fucking, the risk is so low. It's 50 bucks. 150 on top of that if you pass it. Don't blow the funded, of course. The fund is higher risk. It's 4x typical risk factor of what the prop firm costs itself. But if you get scared of blowing the funded, I assume you're going to be more risk adverse and conservative while in the eval. Sorry, not the funded, in the eval. This, everything I'm saying only relates to evaluations. The funded, you act completely differently. But it's a demo money. It's not real money. Please try to pass it faster. If you like someone said, trying to dig a hole out of an eval, there's no hole in an eval. Just blow the fucking account. You're putting way too much importance on something that costs less than a fucking Starbucks coffee. If you're on Bullnox, that's $14. Like your emotional attachment to a $14 coffee is definitely not as high as your evaluation, right? Well, they should have the same exact. They cost the same. The risk analysis is the same. Pass them faster, risk more. Don't be afraid to blow them. Too many people think they're like blowing real money. They think that if they blow an eval, they just lost 50 grand. It's insane. And then it plagues you for the rest of your like prop firm journey and your prop firm career. You're like plagued by this idea that you don't want to blow these accounts because you like think it's real money, and you're like lapsed in evals. If you lapse an eval even 30 days and you rebill it, you're at 2x risk. You've literally doubled your risk factor. So I hope that makes sense. Um, 2 minutes till orb on ES. Still, well, a little bit of SMT here. NQ is not at its orb. ES is in fact there. We have strong. Yeah, I think I would take the orb long on NQ. I think it's all I have today. Again, I already discussed the fact that I would prefer, if I could, to go with the bias today. As much as my personal opinion wants to short the market and have it absolutely die, I already know that it's an incorrect bias to have because I've been wrong on it and attempting to trade against the bias. Like the ILM from this morning, it would have been wrong. It was against the bias. So I must surrender and just do what I know the market exactly wants me to do. No, the orb isn't against the bias. To be fair, orb today's thing to just long.
If you do break the orb to the downside, then it's going to flip the bias because it'll break the EMA.
Yeah, downside orb break is actually fairly optimal for us because we would be with the bias at the exact same time. Which
Okay.
I would really like, so if we did get a downside orb,
Let's see.
I would like it to close underneath this 15-minute low at the same time. So it would invert, it would break the 15-minute EMA plus displace this low, which is, it looks like it's just a random low from London, from pre-market in New York. And that would give us a good confidence to continue lower for the rest of the day.
Someone said ETH the range highs. Yes, it did. Yeah, I think it hit it this morning. We'll see what type of reaction we get from it. Another pullback. I don't know. We'll wait and see. Looks like the H4 failed its closure. Daily still 9 hours. Maybe, just maybe, during ETH's slow consolidation at the highs, we get a quite nice move from alts. Why not? I would love it. So it's a lot of waiting in crypto too. Like, we're long, but let's see what ETH does at the range highs. It's kind of like the bane right now is the range highs.
Okay. The
The reason I say it's the bane as well is because if you look at the chart I have on the screen now,
peaking above, but we haven't
you'll
broken.
see it every time
Doesn't mean anything.
Ethereum comes to these highs. It has a very difficult time. The first time it did this, it missed, and then eventually it swept and came all the way to range lows. So here's the second time it's going to attempt it. We'll see what happens. Again, I did reference, I don't believe this bull run will be all that long. Considering the headwinds and international indexes and the domestic traditional financial markets, it shouldn't last that long. KMAC, I will not add to gold again. My invalidation for gold is close. Someone said thoughts on CMG versus Ally. Yeah, they're two different stocks. CMG, for those who don't know, is Chipotle. Not really moving yet, still around where we bought it. And Ally is a financial stock. Which one do I prefer more? I think I'd prefer Ally over it just because I know CMG is currently under its daily. Yeah, CMG is in fact under that daily. And bearish retesting. So if it fails this inversion, or sorry, if it inverts, then I'll most likely end up selling CMG for a loss. Ally is not even close to a loss limiter, which is why I'd prefer it. Alright, back to NQ. Yeah, we're still in the middle. I believe we're still in the middle for NQ. Yeah, we are. Still right in the middle of the current opening range.
If you think this is a short-lived mini bull run, when do you anticipate, or what do you anticipate can be the catalyst for a full-blown bull run?
Yeah, the catalyst for a full-blown bull run is June 18th. And I know I've been talking about this a lot, but it's truly interest rates. Everyone, and I believe the markets are sideways currently because everyone's waiting. Not just retail, I think institutions, funds, they're just having fun. They put their algos in aggressive, rip back and forth mode, which is why things have been the same price. I mean, the Nasdaq's been the same price for I think 18 days. So, interest rates give us a cut, or honestly anything that happens. To be fair, the market just wants a conclusion, and then like Chauffeur said, maybe a deal with China. I kind of don't even know where we are with China. Like I see something every day about it. Maybe there's a deal, maybe there's not. I don't think there's a deal, but some conclusions would be great. And then that would be the catalyst for a full bull run, I believe.
Yeah, do you think that would be the catalyst for Bitcoin to go back to all-time high, maybe get to 120?
Yeah, definitely. I think
Okay. I think that this right here is the break. So what I would like to do here is take the orb from here. We're going to take this orb So we may have a retest of the break. I'm gonna being that I'm up for the day pretty substantially, I'm going to play the orb in a different sense, meaning my mechanical stop will be here. That's gonna be like my emergency mechanical stop. But I'm gonna watch to see if we get like a retest, if we hit VWAP, things like that. Let me see.
Yeah, like we're here for the long term, and we're going to prove it with our history. So we've set precedent already that we're one of the longest trading groups already to exist in the space, to continue existing with a lot of fruition. So yes, this month, by the way, June 2025 is our 6th year running Playbit. So to give you an update, I'm going to be turning 28. I have another 30 years ahead of me to continue trading. Warren Buffett didn't stop trading until what, 85? Now I'm not saying I'm going to be 85 trading, but you you have at a minimum, another 20 years ahead of you.
I think another reason was that Play It 5, it was 5 years last year, and the lifetime membership this time around was actually 2.5 years in premium, and therefore it's kind of like half the amount of time that Playbit's been standing. You pay that for the lifetime membership, and after 2.5 years on a regular membership, you've already mitigated all of that. And obviously, if the guys were here for another 10, 20, 30 years, it's a no-brainer to save that money. Not to mention the additional perks and benefits and VIP stuff after the lifetime that gets it. For anyone who's kind of like looking at it from an investment point of view, it's a no-brainer. That's why we've got hundreds of members who join lifetime every opening.
Yeah, it's huge. Yeah, we have some.
When is the next merch line dropping?
I was going to answer that one. I have Glacier right now working on sourcing materials for it. I had someone sourcing previous materials, and I got some Plavit merch samples, and they were just garbage, man. I just didn't like it. Thin
Actually,
material.
still wearing the first drop that we had right now.
Yeah, the first OG drop. Yeah, we'll get a new one. But again, like just like with anything we do with Plavit, I want it to be like the best quality. Or I'm just not even going to fucking release it.
I wear my Playbit shit all the time.
Yeah.
The champion collab windbreakers, I love this.
Those were fire.
I'm just waiting for winter so I can wear it again.
Oh shit, Seb Stacks, DM me again. DM me again. I remember now your triathlon. I have like 40 DMs right now, so you definitely got pushed back. I apologize. Okay, another update on NQ.
Another failed attempt of the orb.
Yeah, so for everyone that's new, we trade two models, like I said before, Orb and ILM. What we're looking for right now is a 5-minute close outside this range in order to trigger us to go long. We want to take a trade. Trust me, we're not just sitting here bullshitting because there's like tons of trades. Like, there's literally nothing for us to do right now, unfortunately. So we wait, maybe.
Okay. Are
I
we?
mean, I'm going to give the market 30 more minutes, and then if there's nothing, we're going to call it no trade day. So trust me, we're not
7:30.
sitting here
So I don't think that this is
we
necessarily
don't know how to trade. We're doing this because we literally are seeing over an hour
failed
of
initial
price
balance.
action, 1 hour plus of price action. So if you have questions right now during this
This is
consolidation,
initial
hit me with
balance.
them so we can go over some stuff. I know most of you maybe want to talk about crypto. Actually, I don't know. You guys are going to have to ask me. We won't talk about one thing. I won't talk about is Forex. I don't exactly have anything. I don't have much of an edge in Forex for you guys, so don't ask me about that.
I think it's important, the capital preservation, not trading. I'm looking at the other trading groups and the ones that trade Nasdaq futures as well, and the majority of them took a loss on that M1 ILM that we didn't take.
Yeah.
So the guys like, you're not trading, doing what you're doing. You're not lost money, so it's still a win at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly.
This is a great question. When making money from firms eventually, where would you say that the next best place to diversify would be?
So they're saying if prop firms go away.
No, you've already made money in prop firms. Now you're looking to diversify into something else. Where would you put your money? I'm
Okay,
guessing
so-
it's like crypto.
Yeah. So I mean, two different options here, and I'll tell you probably my first recommendation. Diversification on its first leg. So we'll assume you're like planting a tree. Like you have like a simple tree built. Like it still needs those big wooden stakes to hold it up because it's not strong yet. In order to build a stronger base, and you're trading prop firms and you're producing profit, I don't think crypto is the first thing you go to because I think it may make the base weaker because crypto is risky, it's volatile. But I think you move into building a long-term portfolio. This will increase the strength of your base more. Diversified income, it's a forced savings account, it's forced appreciation over time, and you can get into, hopefully, selling covered calls if you're able to manually wheel the portfolio. You can, that's a passive income source. And then, once you've built out, let's say $25,000, $30,000 in long-term account, you pass that day trader amount, you can start to look to do a double shoot, which would be prop firm and options at the same time on the portfolio, which means they'd be building at the same time. and then eventually when you get comfortable with that, then crypto. I know it may sound weird for me to put crypto as like the third thing I think most people should do, but if you're already trading futures, futures alone by themselves is like crypto. Like it's going to give you the same opportunities. And I know sometimes it's different. Like right now, crypto has more opportunity. Like 2 months ago, futures had more opportunity. So it's hard for some people to battle with this idea of not having a crypto portfolio. But trust me, like when futures and NASDAQ and indexes have really good price action, I'm not trading crypto at all. And you can see this through the history in my channel in the Discord is when I'm heavily in futures, I'm generally not exactly touching crypto during that period. So I don't want you to try to do both at the same time. I want, if you're in crypto, get a long-term stock portfolio instead of going crypto futures then stock. Let's be smart about the bases that we're building. Let's see. JP said, I told my father-in-law to join Playbit. Back in 08, he got a settlement for $1 million and blew it. Whoa. What did he settle for to get $1 million? Fast forward, he got a new settlement for 1.5 million. What is he settling on? That's crazy. Yeah, what's this method to settle for $1.5 million? I'm trying to settle. He got hit by a bus? Did he jump in front of the bus, bro? JP, be real. JP, it was in 2008. Tell me, did he jump in front of the bus? It's okay. It's 2008. He's past the statute of limitations now. You can be honest with us. Second time he fell at work and fucked up his back. JP, bro. This sounds, from an outside perspective, this sounds like he's forcefully abusing the system. I'm also not mad though. I mean, he's pulled $2.5 million in what? Almost 17 years. Gotta do what you gotta do. I hope he doesn't blow it. You did say he joined Playbit. That's awesome. I could easily connect him with myself and Robbie. For 1.5 million, I don't know if you, I don't actually know much about insurance and settling. Does he have to pay a capital gains tax on that? If so, that's fucked. And he actually only has like 750,000. How's that work? TM Romper saying no. No tax on settlements. Fuck yeah, that's not. Wow. I learned something new today. You do not pay taxes on insurance settlements. Yeah, I guess it wouldn't be ethical, you know. Yeah, with 1.5 million, he really doesn't have to, like, specifically knowing he's already blown that 1 million before, I would not want this person to trade with us on a daily basis because I think they sound like a fucking gambler to me. And honestly, like, he's probably a little bit older. He's probably in his 50s or something. It's a lot more difficult to, he's probably had these, like, ideas ingrained in him for a long time. It's going to be more difficult to teach him to get out of those and teach him how to trade professionally. What we would be able to help with is producing a dividend portfolio in which he could pull money from on a monthly basis. So we could easily, instantly cash flow him returns.
Holy shit, he's saying that he got a second set. He blew the first mill. Like, what did he blow it on? Like, what was he trading?
Yeah, it looks like he did.
250x leverage.
Yeah, I wonder how he blew it on hookers. Oh wait, that's not the guy.
To be fair,
No.
if you got 1.5 mil cash liquid, just fine, like super high interest savers or something with like 7%, you're still taking them 100k a year for doing nothing.
Yeah, there's also, KB, there's nothing wrong with if you're in your 50s, but I do believe if you're 40s, 50s, 60s, and you have a tendency to gamble, it's very difficult at that point in your life, I think, to break that tendency, especially when introducing something new like trading. I've seen it firsthand. I've finally seen it firsthand. Not that being older eliminates you from the potential of trading, but I think if you are older and you have a pretty bad gambling addiction already, and I'm assuming he had a gambling addiction because he blew $1 million.
He said he bought a house, a new caddy, and rest blew on blow.
Oh, he blew it on fucking cocaine. All right, so that's all right. Well, there we go. That answers my question. So in this case, like knowing contextual evidence of someone's past helps me to kind of understand how well they'll be at trading. He got the house and the car
Funniest part
first.
is everybody's like, oh, that's a dream.
Yeah,
Fucking wild in here.
I mean, he did what he wanted to do, so fair enough.
It goes back to the keeping the money's the hard part.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, making the money is not that hard, guys. All you have to do is jump in front of a fucking bus and then slip at McDonald's and you're cashing out. But it's hard to keep the money. And truly, that's the hard part about life is keeping what you earn. Ernesto Santiago says, hi, any long-term index funds you recommend for long-term? Yeah, but they're boring. If we can go over it right now. We have a plethora. A lot of this, like for long-term strategic investments for 10, 20 years out, we would love to. We should do a class on this with Robbie, because Robbie's the one. Robbie has the biggest portfolio out of all of us, with millions and millions and millions of dollars in dividend stocks and indexes. He's someone that will do a class on for long term. I don't know how many people actually join Playvid for long term. We do very well in it, but I know it's not very exciting because it's just spot equity long term. But we could easily, if anyone has family members, we could give instant suggestions on how you can build a quite conservative and profitable long-term portfolio with not zero risk, but very low risk. Why are we trading each morning when we could go walk downtown and fall in front of a bus? You're honestly right. We should change Playvid into investment fraud. Fraud. Oh,
Sure,
good.
it's fraud bit.
Yeah.
The actual bus. That's a good one.
The real bust that model. Wow. Can it, Croissant Stefan said, can you really say based on someone's background how good of a trader they can be? Honestly, I can make my best assumption, but I probably am just as right as maybe a coin toss. I have a bias and assumption of what will work. I mean, look, I've coached probably over like, I don't know where we're at now, Ewan, but like 18,000 people or something. I've probably coached a little under 20,000 people in the last 8 years. So I've seen a lot of different individuals coming from different backgrounds, different ages, different socioeconomic backgrounds. And I like to think that I have a decent idea of the type of person that can be very profitable in trading and the type of person that would struggle. Now, I don't even have like data to support this. It's just an intuition because I've coached so many fucking people now. I like to think that I can, but to be fair, a coin toss of saying yes or no would probably be just as good. I will call it fraud bit, where we just teach people how to run insurance scams. People would love that, honestly.
Probably do have this sports. You got sports betting. You probably got like crime discords, that kind of thing.
We need to find one. I would love to go do a investment outlook on a crime Discord. Here's a good question actually I got by Mathesis Crespi. What's your mental process to determine this might be a sideways market for a while? I mean, what makes you tick and go Honda essentially? Great question. And I can pretty much annotate quickly for you. The first thing is with how long NASDAQ sits in the range without trending. One way I can prove to you that this isn't just like a hunch is because during February 18th, we had the same thing. We had about 27 days of sideways movement. Go check long term of when I started to sell my assets in February. I started to sell here. I was like, this is just too long for me. This isn't. I believe that something big is going to happen, whether up or down, right? I mean, my assumption was down, and inevitably I was correct. It's the same thesis here. I believe that with price stagnating for over 28 days, something's going to happen, and I believe investors, institutional investors with large amounts of money, are going to be waiting for it. And during the period of waiting, they're just going to, whether or not you want to believe this happens doesn't matter to me, but turn on their algorithms to just trade back and forth ranges aggressively with large holding them for expected moves, because they hold for expected moves on conclusive information. Conclusive information is defined by soon to be Wednesday of next week at 11 a.m. So when I see that the markets are not trending, and this is the same thing that happened with Ethereum, is when the markets are not trending and they're just doing this, sideways, I assume market conditions are in a piss poor environment, and I'm probably going to profit less, which means I should probably risk less, because profiting less inherently means I'm losing more trades. So if I just risk less and allow myself time to get back, or at least wait for market conditions to resume to the point at which they once were, where I profited heavily, I will not only skip the bad market conditions, but I'll be able to allocate more equity to better market conditions. That said, with the back and forth, is that helpful for ILM? Yes, actually, yes. Higher time frame ILMs will be great. One problem that I would like to point out would be, although we do have a lot more opportunity for ILM, a lot of the ILMs actually aren't during New York session. Like, London takes a lot of them. Tokyo, Asia's been doing a plethora of massive ILMs. You can just see it by looking at the different market sessions. So yes, it does mean that ILM can be more consistent, but sometimes it changes sessions. Like, London's been way more profitable than New York lately. In Asia session, lo and behold, look at this huge move from yesterday. And the same session, it lost the whole move. So Asia was great, but I'm sleeping during Asia session, so I can't even trade it. All right, this is what, the 5th attempt at orb break today, guys? All right, we are at the this is going to be the macro time frame for 10 minutes before the hourly candle. Is it actually going to fail here?
No.
All right, quick data research. 8:10 a.m. orb. Or sorry, 7:50, 10, 8. I've only taken, wow. I've only taken one trade during this time frame. And we're about to fail again. 1 minute. All right. Zippy Doo just joined the stream. 1 hour in. Yeah, we've taken 0 trades. Also, NASDAQ has taken 0 price fluctuations for an hour and 10 minutes. So that's most likely going to be the day. We are 10 minutes before 8 a.m. PST. I live on the West Coast, not the East Coast, for those confused by my time frames. Yeah, it looks like a lot of people. It looks cooked. I mean, ES breaking above its orb is all that's happened. The only trigger for the day would be this guy. But we're waiting for NQ. And 11 seconds, 10, 9, 8. Maybe a random 1 second candle, and no. All right. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's about 4 attempts, I'd call it. Maybe just 2 official attempts at breaking this, but quite frustrating. No movement. And the only macro left is this 810 macro for orb, in which I have 1 trade over the past 160 trades I've taken. I'm sure you guys can see where this is leading. Trust me, guys, I want NASDAQ to shape up just as much as you guys.
I'm gonna give it till on the hour, and if not, then I'm just gonna call it a day.
Yeah. Okay, 10 more minutes. So we have two more, 5-minute attempts. Um, yeah. Rhinomite says you got a 1-minute ILM. When did you see this? 6. Oh, was this market open? Liquidity retake. I guess you took a pseudo. So no. Doesn't look like it took liquidity. I'm glad it worked for you though. Yeah, so good job. Nonetheless, V-shape reversal into the highs. Right after the opening range, nice. Okay, good job. Oh, you took this. I think you took the... I wish I could call it like a true retest, but unfortunately, I don't know if it actually took liquidity anywhere. Doesn't look like it. Maybe this one. Maybe this low. But I'm going into hindsight now. Even in real markets, I would have never taken this. Yeah, show for you, I agree. Mark said, what's the chances we can get a video or lessons on learning how to use Bluefin? Well, it's your lucky day because 2.5 months ago I did one. So let me just send this to you now. There you go, mate. Oh, 6 months ago, it was even later. Can you real quick show your session timing? Yeah, here you go. 8 to 17, 13 to 22, 0 to 9. And then I don't use Australia because Australia has no motion.
Hi, with the bit of interest in crypto, and you just posted a thing on Bluefin, we probably should warn a little bit of the new guys anyway about trading with leverage.
Oh yeah. So, as soon as you hop on Bluefin, you'll probably be prompted a few times to look into futures, which you probably see us trading a lot too. You need to understand that futures isn't the same as NQ futures. They don't kind of sound the same. It's perpetual, so there isn't exactly expiration dates on this. The main cause of caution when engaging with futures is the fact that there is potentially a liquidation event. This means that you could lose your entire account if the price goes too far against you. This is what a liquidation event occurs. If you don't understand when a liquidation event can happen, don't touch futures. Learn about futures first. Learn about cross versus isolated margin, and then maybe you can get involved in it more. But there's a pretty big risk if you don't understand. Yeah, you don't need an ID for Bluefin, guys. You just need a VPN. They're not going to try to KYC you. At least I hope not. I hope they haven't changed it.
Still no KYC, not like a official KYC. Obviously you've got email address and stuff, but none of like the ID verification.
And for those questioning why they even need a KYC, just so you know, a lot of crypto futures is not regulated by the FDIC, so there's no FDIC insurance on these crypto brokers because most of them are offshore based. And the reason that you need a VPN is to spoof your location to get access to their trading tools because they don't offer to US clients. Five minutes left until we crash out. Can I draw my ref link for Bluefin? No. Only mine gets used. I don't even think you're a premium member either. I think you're just watching this on a free stream.
Cheeky boy.
Good try though, good try though.
Yeah, don't ask, don't get. Fair play.
Yeah, don't ask, don't get. I always ask. You guys can ask anything.
Join premium, and we'll consider it.
There we go. Someone said, what's the legality of using a VPN and doing well from an IRS and taxes standpoint? Great question. There's no actual like gray area for this. It's legal to do it. So you're absolutely legal to use these trading brokers and tools with a VPN. The only legality standpoint is on the company. So like Bluefin, if they don't want to offer you their services anymore because you're a U.S. client, then they have the right to cancel your services. They'll pay you what you have in the account, but they have the right to cancel you. The U.S. government does not care how you make money. The U.S. government doesn't care if you're making money in Antarctica or in Korea or on some unregulated crypto chains. They don't give a fuck. Also, the government doesn't care if you make money from drugs. I was about to be a tax lawyer. The government wants you to annotate on your tax documents that you sold drugs for profit and pay taxes on it. Just know the IRS does not give a fuck how you make money. They just want a portion of it. So if the government's okay with you saying you sold drugs for profit, your illicit gains from the drugs, they're definitely okay with you pulling some crypto profit. It's the same thing as if you were using a broker such as like Phantom and trading meme coins. They do not care how you made it. That's the least of their worries. They just want for you to pay them.
But obviously, you're not KYC. It's not attached to you, therefore, it's a little bit of a grey area whether you declare it or not.
Yeah, there you go. That's definitely up to your discretion to declare. So, not financial advice, but there is no KYC attached, so do with what you may. How do I tell my accountant all my portfolio gains came from Fart Coins? I would just not tell him. I wouldn't even get into that.
Not financial advice as well, but use your crypto gains to buy yourself a nice watch, and then cash. Who knows?
This concept explains the existence of cities like LA and Vegas. Yeah. They just want to get paid, man. They just want to get paid. Okay, look at Bitcoin short. Also, this 5-minute candle's about to close. We have 1 minute left. Okay, it's BTC. What do we got going on here? First red
Order
candle in a
fill.
while. Looks like small down move. I think probably ETH in those coins. Yeah, so if we're taking highs, Bitcoin highs, CRV highs. Ooh, we might get another entry to stack some more of these positions. I'm definitely not fully allocated. ECH to the highs. Ooh, how much was this? Like 10% moves across the board. I think average 10% move. Yeah, looks like just the overall market is taking its first stab at its sell side liquidity, and it's now going to auction off and figure out how much the market really wants to trade, how much they really want to own. And not bad.
It's tight. It's on the hour. No trade. I'm gonna jump off. But for the free guys, if you do want to see when Bitcoin Playbook tide are allocated in the rest of the crypto, I'm just gonna drop the premium link here. Obviously, this is the free stream. If you want to get in daily, just click that link and then you can join the Discord like that. Other than that, I don't think it's gonna be a trading day, so I'm gonna go do some other errands I need to run. Alright.
Perfect. See you, Ewan. I'll be here for the next few minutes and kind of go over some last things that you guys want.
Order filled.
Somebody was asking me about this 1 hour BPR that we were watching for Nasdaq. it's not doing anything into it. We've tagged the inverted fair value gap that took out last week's high. So if we just need to see what we're gonna do. If we're gonna displace, tag it again, or if we're just gonna start displacing down. We can't fail this inversion and invert this bearish fair value gap here. Then we're looking for these lows. In my opinion, there's relative equal lows all around this 20,007, 18 level. But no model, no trade. As much as the high time frames want to show one specific certain things, we have to have a lower time frame model in order to actually get us there. Alright, I'm headed out as well, Ty. I appreciate you guys.
Peace, man. Peace.
Later. Thank you.
Alright, so NQ is the exact same price as open for today. There's no news until 1 p.m., which is coincidentally the market close for the day, which is Trump will speak. Now, I don't know what he's going to say, but it does say right here on our calendar. Trump speaks 1 p.m. Orange folder should be red, but they don't think so. So, no trades. I would love to trade to the upside today, but that's how the cookie crumbles, isn't it? He's at Fort Bragg. What is Fort Bragg? Is that where all our gold is? It's an army base. Oh, it's North Carolina. Oh, Fort Knox is where we keep all the gold. Yeah. Oh, it's the Army's 250th birthday. Today. Oh, it's also his birthday. Yeah, I don't know. Probably nothing will happen. Oh, Alexander Marquez says, Ty already asked in the stock chat, but with Banks trading new stables, what software behind stable should I be looking to get into? Great question. I think there's only one right now, Circle, which hopefully cooled off. I know it like doubled in value as soon as it just IPO'd. Circle insiders sold shares worth $46 million. And here's the Circle shares at 8 cents.
Get started and I'll capture it.
18 million Class B. I think he sold all his Class A stocks.
Hi Paul, hi Kate, nice to meet you.
Oh, he sold all of his Class A stocks. $46 million. Congratulations, dude. Cash out. Anyways, this is the stock you buy. It originally IPO'd on listing for like $32. This is if you got it through Robinhood.
Simple or just a service company that
But obviously you can see the IPO went double that price, and then subsequently doubled in price 2 days later. So if you want the software company that does at least operate with stables, this is it. But it's a tad difficult for me to justify share price with 4 days of trading data.
And now we're matching up here in LA, and we have about 5 that we're doing here. Trying to
bit absurd. Can I look at SEC footage? Sure. Someone just asked me about this the other day. It was probably you. I don't think I answered them. Sorry.
Yes. So thanks for taking a look at our website and letting me know. Yes, so one of the things that I need to
What is going on here?
yes,
This
we
is
have
hard to
shipping
gauge.
for prime
Yeah, I mean, it did what we
as an option.
expected
If they're not near
in
any
May.
boxes or locations, they can ship it. Yeah, and yeah, it's kind of a weird
Fuck.
thing. I'm sure you guys go through it.
How's
as well,
Alibaba doing?
You know, with customers who trying to find information. It's like, oh, where you located? It's like, okay,
So,
our map here.
yeah,
Then they go,
C
where's
doesn't
the
look all that
river?
bad. I mean, it's
What road
obviously a
you
strong
use?
asset.
And they're like, okay, we'll put the rover here. We'll put it on the map. You know, like.
I prefer to build some gaps. So yeah, if you can get C shares
Yeah, yeah,
for
it's just like
90% off, I'd
exactly.
buy it. That's the thesis.
Yeah.
What crypto are you buying more of? Well, what happens when Nasdaq closes out today? Doesn't seem like we have any direction yet. Oh god, I'm getting tired. Okay, yeah, that's fucking it, man. That's it, I'm done. I'm fucking done. I wish I could trade today, guys. I really want to fucking take some shots at NQ. Soon. Short hype and fart. Holy fuck, that's the big statement you just made. Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you, Silrak.
Yeah, so we're in a weird situation where we're actually trying to
Someone said, what do you think of ACHR?
migrate to either
Yeah, it's
all
hard.
Square or all Shopify.
You know,
because
I'm not the best person to ask about these. I know
just
Robbie knows a
how
lot about
we're
art.
trying to figure, like,
I would go
our
to
admin
Stock Chat and
house
ask
will be
Robbie.
much better. And of course,
My
for
edge
me,
is
it
he's done so much more research on
at
this.
the moment.
I want to give
Yes,
you the best
so Square,
resources.
anything that's Java related is on Square, but then as
Even
soon
though no
as
trade
you go
is fun.
shipping,
Hey,
it goes to
at a
Shopify.
minimum, at least there's an entertainment
Yeah.
educational value for the 2 hours we did stream. I always wish there's money profit being involved, but yeah, maybe not today. Maybe not today. If you do continue to trade for the rest of the session, just remember that the main priority would be orb to the downside makes a lot of sense if it can happen. If it can happen, because you would get the M15 EMA plus 50% plus you target like previous day low, and you're looking at like 2 to 3 R. What is this? What just happened?
Yeah.
Trump.
No, that's
The U.S.
it.
and China have concluded trade talks. You for real?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Sounds really good. So all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably be looking at cryptos to buy today if I can't do anything else. Probably do something like this.
Yeah, I could see.
Yeah, C or V and A backs if you don't have honestly,
There's
you buy some of it now.
Yeah. That is a
Sui,
hard
definitely gonna buy
thing to
some
do.
now.
We did have shipping.
ECH, literally not even slowing down. This will pull a comp. So
They
comp
all
is
keep
this.
reaching like, how do
I can
we drop off this as you? Yeah, so
Okay, we had something unexpected happen here. Holy shit. Hmm.
Order filled.
Okay, so now that we've taken this, what I want to do, man, that was interesting. That was quite interesting. The bad news is, got cooked. That was wild. Yeah, come on, we believe it. We gotta take it. All right, last trade of the day.
Filled.
All right, so our orb did hit the stop here, but we did have a short on the other side that did hit the local or the overnight low here. There's another one here though. So we still have one contract open to see if we get down here. I'm going to take this long here because of this sweep. And we'll just see. This is it. This is the last one of the day. All right, so before we wrap, let's review these. Number one was the initial balance retest. This should be logged as the opening range retest. Now in this case, this was a short, and the target was to the session low, which is here. We also had the target of the market open. Now in this case, we got to VWAP, and we were done. Also though, earlier in the session, do over. Okay, so in the morning, our initial thought process was that around the 5:30 open, we saw a signature we see pretty often, which is a sweep of local resistance, but no displacement through it. So we waffled a bit, and then once price kind of settled, I thought, okay, well, this is our first opportunity, which is a retest. I'm sorry, a break of the orb. We see this happen usually around 7. It happened on both NQ and ES, with the target being either the market open or lower. This stopped itself out, so this one was a scratch. Earlier in the session though, we did take a long that was, in all honesty, by accident. So we were long in this area here. We held that trade because we noticed that we got a break of the orb. So we said, cool, let's just keep it. And then once the orb actually broke, and here it's breaking again. And we are still long in one spot, so that's fine. So this is the first orb break, along with the initial balance break. It did not hold. And I thought it seemed like a failed auction. It had the signature of a failed auction. So I maintained a long with the intent to say, let's manage it in a discretionary fashion. And we got a very swift move to the downside, which I was not expecting. But considering that this signature looked like a failed auction, the auction in fact failed, and we did sweep all the way down to the London low on both ES and on NQ. NQ essentially hit both levels, which is fascinating. So one note I want to make is there may have been some value. We could see that like ES didn't break, sorry, NQ didn't break, but we did hit both of our proposed levels on that slide down, 1, 2. And then the bounce was very strong. And now we see NQ kind of hitting its head again right here. And then we closed here. We have one contract still open, which I'm mentally kind of taxed, so I think I'm going to shut that one down. So that's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This takes the funded apexes to these levels. Now, these all came from a short that we took yesterday. Here. This move here we got in the overnight session that hit. And that same move was across the Bolex accounts. So that's it. There's some notes that we can kind of take. I'm going to journal these in Notion, and we're going to call it. I think the first thing here is going to be no Okay. To answer the question of the easiest to K, it's here. A limit order here. And the thing is, it may not hit, right? But we just leave it there and see what happens.